Good evening, clients. I hope your Sunday's going well. We have the man himself in for an interview this evening, Jonathan Arcross. Honestly, this is one of the best sets I've seen from Jonathan Arcross, and that's not because he pumped the BPM up to 150 towards the end, I swear to God. Anyway, shall we introduce your interviewer? Ba-da-ba-da! Eric Lewin, all the way from America. How's it going, my friend?
Good. How's everybody doing? How are you?
Yeah, all good. I had to rush my tea to get on time, but other than that, all good. And I have it on good authority that Jonathan used a pencil to pull out his panic poop earlier, and here he is.
Hello.
Yo.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, the panic poos are over, so that's a good thing. Yeah, all good. Nice wet Sunday here, I suppose.
Ugh.
So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Jonathan Arcross is one of the heads over at Hardware Jams. That is a wonderful community that do challenges every week. Every Friday that goes out, is that right, John?
Yeah.
Yep. Every Friday, and then the stream through, which is them showcasing it, goes live on a Monday. What times that go live on a Monday, John?
Normally 8 o'clock-ish.
Oh, okay. I thought it was later than that. I thought you started around 10ish and stuff.
No, my stream on Thursday is on 11, but yeah, the Hardware Jams is 8 normally.
Yeah, so if you don't know Hardware Jams, I thoroughly recommend you go over there and check it out. I will chuck some links up to Hardware Jams. They're a wonderful community, lovely people, and yeah. So, Eric, John, take it away.
What? I thought you were going to do this interview, man. You're putting me in charge? What the fuck? So, I want to thank everybody out there that's watching and stuff today. Thank you guys for taking time out of your Sunday for us to torture this lovely man over here, Jonathan R. Cross. How you doing, Jonathan?
Good, thank you. Not too bad.
Not too bad, not too bad. Man, it's hard to pin you down. I swear to God, you got a schedule that is just insane. I don't know. Do you ever sleep? Or are you just like always on the go? Or
yeah, it's having 2 daughters, 2 dogs, and a wife, and then a full-time job, and trying to do stuff with music as well. Yeah, it's fun. So we made it, because I think the last time some plumbing issue occurred.
Oh my God! Don't remind me.
But
don't remind me. Yeah, we were supposed to do this about a month ago. It was. We originally had planned on doing it, and man, the entire basement at my work flooded. It was a whole ordeal. I would have much rather spent time on the internet with my buddies than doing that shit.
Shit, literally, yeah.
Yeah, literally. So for those of y'all out there that don't know what we're up to today, or new to the show or whatever, we throw a poll out in the URL group. We let all of the clowns out there vote and add, to the poll who they want to see us interview and who I should torture next. And Jonathan R. Cross won the last one. Like it was really tight though between you and I think The Sound of James. Were like 2 votes away. I was like, oh my God.
Close run thing.
Yeah. So I think this is our 5th episode or so. Yeah, 5th episode that we've been doing this. I love it. I got the best job in all the clown army. I just get to sit here and talk shit with people.
And so, as your gear grows behind you as well, it's
back here.
Isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Like it's expanding. Looks good.
Thank you. I'm trying to get my poop in a group for Clown Fest. But all of my life is in storage right now, so I spent all day yesterday trying to find wires. I was like, fuck, I'm just going to give up and go buy them again because this is torture. But I found what I needed, thank God.
Good.
So, you've been around the clown army for quite a while. How long you been around?
I think the first time I saw Mark was on Facebook, possibly in Hardware Jams, also possibly just live, kind of staring at the camera and going, how's the sound? And like stuff like that. And I was like, what is this? And then Inky kept sending me his videos as well. So I think it was kind of quite early on. I would say 2018-ish, maybe.
Nice. So you an OG to the clown army.
Because that was when all kind of Hardware Jams and all of that sort of kicked off as well, I think. There was something going on around that time, 2017, 2018.
There was something in the water.
Yeah, because all these groups, or at least to my view, suddenly exploded. And I was like, oh, good. I mean, it coincided with me buying a TR-8S. So not sure if there's any link to that. But
it was the universe giving you a sign.
Either that or my cookies in the browser.
Yeah. No shit. The cookies.
Like, he's just bought a Roland, right? Here's
here, look at this.
Yeah.
Watch this clown electrocute himself in a bathtub with a Roland.
Yeah. With makeup on.
With makeup on. I know. Everybody I talked to, I've done the interview so far that saw that video of Mark in the bathtub and stuff. We're like, we were secretly hoping that it would fall in the water. Like, why are we all so evil?
I think the first few I saw were there's a one where he's got an ironing board outside a field in Glastonbury, and it's trying to ask a question. And there's another one where he's in like a shopping centre, and the security guard comes up, and he's just like having a rave at the bottom of an escalator or something. Is that Don't Get Caught? Oh, then that was around the time I think I started seeing stuff.
So tell me about the Hardware Jams community. How did that come about and stuff?
Well, it was a guy called Andrew Coogan, and he was sick of Facebook groups and other groups like on Reddit and stuff with basically pictures of gear and people going, which synth should I buy, or how do I make music and all that. He was just like, I just want a place that's just literally full of people making music with their stuff. So he set up the group, and then basically had a rule that was just like, you can only have jams in there. That's the only rule, basically. That was the main rule. And then he started doing these weekend challenges after a bit. I think the first one was an acid challenge. That's the fella, yeah. Bottom of an escalator, yeah, thought so. And then and then some guy who my brother-in-law knows from wherever he's from, like Nottingham or somewhere, said, "Oh, you should check out Hardware Jams, this group on Facebook." And I was like, okay, and had a look, and then started submitting, and then started doing the weekend challenges, and then didn't stop really. And then kind of Andrew wanted to take a step back, so I joined the admin team, and kind of started coming up with some of the challenges, and then that grew a bit. But the main goals are always just to kind of get people jamming and get people making music. And that's the whole point of the weekend challenge, basically, is we come up with a theme every week. So I don't know what it is this week, but there's always a new theme. And like 1 week it might be reverb, 1 week it might be hi-hats, 1 week it might be, here's a mad story about, I think we just came out of a desert bunker rave, a desert bunker rave or something. That was one of the ones.
Yeah, recently. That was
sick. So you focus on that, and then you've got from Friday to Monday to make it and save it and share it. And then on the Monday, we watch it on all of the submissions on the stream through. And then there's a playful vote at the end where, well, everyone attaches far too much significance to the vote. It's not all about the vote. And we're trying different ways with the vote at the minute as well, because like people go, "Oh yeah, it's really biased." It's like, how can it be biased? People vote or they don't. It's like, how can you impact that? But so we're trying like one vote only. We would ideally like to have 3 votes, like limit or something. We'll want to try that one, but we can't do that with the form we use at the minute. But anyway, the point is, we just want people to make music and listen to the music that they've made as well, and listen to the music that other people have made and be inspired by others, and grow that habit of making and finishing a track every week. Because then if you do that a few times, at the end of the year, you've suddenly got a massive catalogue of tunes, which is basically how I've then been able to release music based on those jams have been released, the ones that I like the most, as it were. So it's just a mint way to kind of contribute, get to know people, learn how to do your gear, learn from other people, make music at the same time, and just generally be in a mint community of positive people.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something on this. Hardware Jams and the Clown and the URL, that we invaded Facebook at the right time. If you were trying to do that today, honestly, like I really don't think it would fly. But literally, back in the day, you could post to 100 groups and share it all over the place, and there was interaction there. And so so the Clown and the Hardware Jams, literally, they got in at the perfect time, built up a following, and are now still making a good headway on Facebook. So
going stronger than ever, man. I love the concept of like having that time frame of the weekend to get it done. Like, it really, I think, forces people to pull their finger out of their ass and just do it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, because I think there's people that just can't do it on a weekend, and that was always a shame. We thought about having like a midweek one as well, but then it just gets really complex in terms of how do you actually do that. It's a good kind of time frame. It's a good thing to do on a weekend. It's a good thing that people can do, it's the fact that it's then continued is just through people who've kind of wanted to help and join in and become hosts and just keep it and carry the torch, as it were. It's really good, and I'm really proud of where we are now in terms of what we do.
Absolutely,
the music that we put out every week, because I think it's the freshest music you're ever going to hear on the internet, really, because it's made 3 days ago.
Literally,
literally that afternoon. Okay, let's hear it. And I don't think there's anywhere that has that throughput of 3-4 hours of music a week.
Nowhere I know.
30, 40 new tracks, jams, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, it's really the the different kind of genres you hear, because we sometimes focus on a genre, so we might do a techno challenge or an acid challenge or whatever, but generally you hear a massive range if it's based on a story or a picture inspiration or a film or something like that, because people just come at it from their own side, so that's really good as well.
I think I've made the weekend challenge one time, and it changed how my whole music thing, honestly, because I think it was the Wonky Acid or something like that. And I kind of did a halfway cheating jam, because I was just jamming on my my APC Mini, and like just putting clips and stuff together in session view and playing with the filter and stuff. And nothing too extravagant, but it kind of was the first time that like I realized that I like to do this live versus like sit there in the DAW all the time and play. Like I like to wank some knobs and just go with the flow of it, and ever since then, seriously, that was my jumping off point into that. Since then, like I've done the live Clown Fest, and it's just the way I like to do it now. I don't even hardly open my Ableton anymore.
That's meant. Well, I think my goal was always to kind of have as minimal prep required as possible, so I could just literally turn stuff on and start. Right. I didn't have to think about anything. I knew that whatever I turned on, that it would be more or less fine. And if it wasn't, you can change it as you go. So yeah, and I never kind of. It's really hard for me to go back and change anything anyway, because I don't use a DAW to record it. But if I did multi-track everything into a DAW, I think the only thing I would ever change is relative volume on certain parts, or alternate volumes and stuff. Or if there's some obvious bits that go wrong, clean it up. But I like the fact that it's just raw and as it is, and a snapshot of the moment. And if you can kind of think about the structure of a track as you jam, then it kind of works more or less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is there anything to look forward to from the Hardware Jams crew? I know there's like a Inky Fest just happened. And isn't there something coming up in the next month or so? Or am I making things up?
I don't think so. I think generally my buddy Bottomman says the Panda. Yes, absolutely. I've got no way to high pass any of the really beefy synthy stuff, so it all ends up quite muddy. So anyway, that's where that's from. What was the question? Sorry. Yes, is there anything on the Hardware Jams? We've got. I mean, generally at Christmas time we tend to do everybody's favorite, which is Secret Santa, where we kind of. You get paired up with somebody that you don't know, who you find out who you're making a jam for, and then we play the jam on like a stream, and then we move on to the person who the jam was made for, and then whoever they made a jam for gets played next, and then we move all the way through everybody. It's just a nice thing to do, and it also gives us a chance to kind of have a bit of a break over Christmas, and come back and then do that and I think I released the last one, Luminiferous Ether, because it was a jam for Luminiferous Ether.
I think we have that queued up to play, actually.
Oh, have we? Oh, right, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's really good. So that's coming up, and that'll be Christmas. I don't know if we're having... Yeah, Mark?
God, just what track was that? Did you want to play that now?
Can do.
Yeah, the Christmas one, the Luminous Effort. I can't.
Luminiferous Ether. So it's a guy in Finland, I think, and I think he uses Tyson Kane a lot, but his YouTube handle is Luminiferous Ether. I don't know. I don't speak Finnish, so I'm not sure. But,
yeah, me neither.
But he does really cool kind of ambient sort of, I mean, sometimes techno, but ambient stuff as well, and really chilled stuff, and just really good sounding stuff. So Luminiferous Ether is one to check out as well.
Oh, yeah.
This was for him.
I love your ugly Christmas sweater there.
Oh, yeah. Mandatory. It's a Star Wars Christmas jumper, I think.
Oh, no.
Stormtroopers all over it.
Epic.
And John, you none of this existed before you jammed it out, is that right? That's how you work.
I'm just checking. No, I think this one I've prepared it, and I'm now just then I do a take of it. So I've prepared I kind of jam about with it, and then I'll stop at some point and go, okay, and then I'll do a take. Unless you see me programming any of the steps live, otherwise, no, I think it looks like it was all in there. That's the two ways that I do it. Either it's from scratch, or I jam a bit and then do a take for hardware jam. Live sets are always from scratch though.
Hell yeah. I want that sequencer. I have my eye on it, yeah.
It's great. It just generates bass lines, chord sequences, kind of anything you want basically, and you can twiddle the parameters so you can say I want this kind of pitch range, this percentage of ties. I want it to be 100% random or 20% random or whatever,
Right.
And I want it to be kind of 0 to 100% full. So how full do you want it? And then you press go, it generates something. If it doesn't sound good, you press it again. You can just keep going until you get something that sounds good. And then so that's really good.
I've been using this guy.
Oh yeah. Is that something to do with Ableton? Oh, an Akai.
Yeah.
APC.
APC. It's got a standalone mode in there, and you can sequence like a million tracks with it. It's crazy.
Well, the Oxy Mark II now has 8 sequences.
Nice.
And each one of those, you can either have it poly, so it's like, poly, or you can have, there's 2 of them, it's stochastic and matricial, and then there's a one that's poly, basically it turns it into another 8 tracks of sequencing, so the 8 times 8, you'd end up with 64 tracks, which is mad.
That's,
As it is, it's got 32, the Mark I, which is still quite bonkers.
that is insane. The APC is a little more basic.
Is that the machine that's front and center right in front of you?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oxy 1.
Yeah.
I might have to look into that. That sounds interesting.
And it does CV and MIDI, and
That's why
It's
I've been
got
looking at it, is to sequence these bad boys.
well, the Mark II, and I was just setting these start and end points there when it goes purple, so I'm like looping closing it down to loop a shorter piece. So I'm just repeating those 3-5 notes or whatever.
Dean says, people love that Oxy one. That doesn't sound like you love it though, Dean.
Well, I really battled with myself because I wanted to buy the Torso T1,
Yeah.
and I think I bottled out a little bit. I think I probably would have enjoyed the Torso T1 a lot more, but this has got far more features. But it's like, I don't really like the grid programming. But the Torso T1, I think, is all Euclidean and randomized stuff. So, but there's only a few buttons. There's 2 rows of buttons, I think, on it. So, but loads of knobs. Whereas it's got 4 knobs and loads of buttons.
You said knob.
And is that thing spitting MIDI to the synths, or?
Yeah, it's controlling everything.
Oh, okay.
Apart from, it's only sending MIDI through clock to the TR8S,
Right.
but everything else, apart from the Swarm, is being. And the Edge, I can send MIDI to everything there, plus the TD3 and the Crave and the Base Station 2 and the Micro Monster. Yeah, it's sending it to everything.
That's a very capable piece of kit then.
Hell yeah.
What's the price range on it?
Yeah.
I think it's 500-600 quid. I'm not sure. I think it's 550 or something.
Maybe I don't want it that much.
I don't know. It sounds kind of worth it though, honestly.
Well, I always needed a brain because I'd always previously just used the internal sequences from every synth that I had, and there was no way to really program anything or do anything. It was always just ARPs or whatever the sequencer in the synth could do.
Right.
So this has allowed me to really just kind of bring it all into one place to control the notes, basically, which is good.
Jason Marsh says, I was told there would be strippers. I didn't wear a bra just for you, Jason. You dirty dog, Jonathan. Look at you showing your ears.
I know, I'm just baring my ears.
You nasty bugger, you.
I'll show you my, what's it called? Not a nipple. No, what's it called? The ear lobe. The
your
lobe. Get your
lobe.
lobes out.
Yeah.
Get your lobes out.
Tugging on my lobe over here. So
Your
let's get into the
Sebastians.
interview.
Yeah, anyway. Stop, you're making me blush.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to have more beer and maybe an M&M.
An M&M, you wild and crazy guy.
Well, they're peanut M&Ms. If I had a peanut allergy, I would be wild and crazy.
My lobe you long time.
We love you a long time. And, oh, no, it's an accent. Sorry.
Yeah.
Immediate retraction. Sorry.
Stop it, Alan.
Banned.
So,
Oxy 1 Mark II 750, says the Panda. Jeez.
what?
The Oxy 1 Mark II is 750 quid. Ouch. But you do get twice as many sequences. 8 sequences.
Yeah. Man, that just makes you kind of cringe, though, when you think 750. You're like,
That's a lot. For something that doesn't make any noise.
Yeah. I could probably fill that for that.
But it's battery powered as well, and it lasts like about 5 or 6 hours.
No way.
Yeah.
The MK2?
Well, both of them. It's
Both of them?
rechargeable USB-C battery thing, so yeah.
Nice. I don't know. The more you talk about it, the more I want one.
Well, yeah, I really, as I say, I battled between it and the Torso T1. I still think I want to try a Torso T1 at some point, but I don't. They're also quite pricey. That was the problem. It was like, I can't buy both. That would be silly.
Yeah, you might be sitting on the couch.
Yeah, this does all the ones that I've gotten. That's fine.
Do you tell the missus that you sold the old synth when you buy a new one? Like, yeah. No. I sold the old one.
No, they're all piled up.
It's kind of hard to hide, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I guess just getting into it, learn a little bit more about you and stuff and your background and kind of what makes you tick musically and what got you into it. You know, I think my first thing I always like to ask people is like, what got you into electronic music? Like, what was the first stuff you heard, or, you know?
I mean, I think just growing up in the time that I did. So I was, you know, like born in 1976, same as Mark, I think. And by the time I was a teenager, there was just music everywhere. I was on the radio. There was always Radio 1's Essential Mix or whatever on a Friday night. And so it was always there. And then I think I went to university at Leeds to try to do a jazz degree, but couldn't get on the jazz degree because I couldn't play scales. So they put me on a foundation year. And I think that was the first time I'd probably heard Aphex Twin, whatever that was, Selected Ambient Works. And then started going to the Orbit in Morley,
Nice.
where I heard all of the techno DJs that everybody knows now. And didn't realize at the time how epic. Well, I realized at the time how epic a place it was, but didn't realize how epic it was going to then become in the future, as it were, in terms of
like historical value.
Exactly. So then that was kind of techno in my head, going, okay, yep, that'll do. And then I just kind of, I had a keyboard at home, so I was playing, but you know, like a kind of more a play at home sort of keyboard, not a synth. Definitely not a synth, but one that did chords and things that would play along and you could do stuff. And it had lots of sounds, but not very configurable. Then I think I got a
kind of like a workstation almost, or
not quite, no, like a bit more school computer.
I got you.
Layers the other way. And then I got a Gem S3, which was a mad thing that had like 16 tracks and a sequencer, and it was really quite powerful, but it was massive and ridiculously heavy. But then I just gigged with it because I had like a jazz band at the time, but it was mad heavy, so it was just ridiculous. But it had weighted keys and everything, and then that suddenly just got put in a box and forgotten about. And I had a Yamaha RM1X as well a few years later when I went to, because I ended up leaving Leeds and coming and working for a few years, and then going back to university in Northumbria at Newcastle, close to home basically.
Yeah. And
I had a Yamaha RM1X like groove box thing. It was Yamaha's greeny blue groove box that was trying to be an MC 303 or whatever it was at the time, or an MC 909, but it wasn't quite as good or the same. But it was good. I sold the RM1X, I'm afraid, Panda. I needed to buy. What did I buy with the RM1X? It might have been the Micro Freak, actually.
Micro Freak for the win.
Yeah. So yeah, and then basically just stopped making music completely for about 20 years. Like got a job, worked, and then like family and kids, and then
Life be life and kind of thing.
yeah, and about 2016, 2017, suddenly went, the TR-8S came out, and I started looking at videos of it, and I was going, I really want a Roland drum machine, because I've never had a Roland drum machine. I had this Yamaha RM1X, which is okay, but it was, I wish I'd kept it, because actually it would have sequenced everything that I've got for days quite happily, and I knew the sequencer inside out, and it was really good. And but anyway, you live and learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the TR-8S that really sparked everything, because then I got that, and the RS7000, Katie, yeah, that Mune's got one of those. It's got sampling as well. It's very similar to the RM1X, but it's got a sampler as well. But yeah. Anyway, the TR-8S, and that was just like, that was it. I was like, okay, this is mint, great. And now I need a bass line. So I was like, okay, I need a Korg monologue. That's what I'm going to buy. So then that was my first analog synth. So then I had the TR-8S and a Korg monologue, and made some cool 2-box jams for a while. And then obviously, inevitably, I ended up with a micro Korg.
It grew on you.
Kind of inherited a micro Korg from a band I was playing in at Caroline's village, my wife's village, called Incognosis. And the leader of the band, Mick, he had lent me this to do an organ sound, or the vocoder for Mr. Blue Sky, because we were a covers band. And then I ended up buying it off him eventually, and that incorporated itself into my setup. And then I think I bought the Modal Sculpt was the next thing after that. That was like a plasticky kind of thing, but 8-voice with a nice sequencer. That was cool, and it has cool FM sort of noise distortion engines in it. And I'll need to get it out, but I think I tried to upgrade it too much and it broke a bit. But anyway,
way to go!
I got a Micro Freak. That was the Micro Freak was next, and then the Micro Freak was just mint. I had the Micro Freak for ages. And I think then about that time, I then discovered if I jammed piano over the top of the techno, it sounded quite good. And it was an accident one night. I was jamming away, and then I started playing on the piano. I was like, oh, hold on.
Oh, hold on. There's something to this.
What? Ooh, do that again?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it kind of just, it basically evolved from there and that point. Because I started to do like just a short 15-minute live thing. Thanks, Mark. Started to do this like live sessions, just where I would jam, and then one of those ones I started sprinkling on the piano, and I was like, oh,
jazzy sprinkles.
I think I may have just discovered something cunning,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a very unique sound. It is. It's like darkness and light dancing, kind of. That's the only way I can explain it,
Because I think the darkness, the harshness of techno, and the kind of overall, generally it's harsher sounds, and then all of a sudden you just get something that's smooth and melodic and whiffly waffly and a bit, whimsical over the top, and you're just like, oh, yeah, and it's a bit like eating a bag of crisps or chips if you're American, and then having some chocolate, or that kind of contrast in your mouth.
It takes you out of the trenches of the techno for a little while, and you float around in the clouds,
a break,
and then
drops
you back
all of a
in
sudden,
there.
My hands remove themselves and start to knob twiddle again.
Knob twiddle. Sorry. My middle school brain is just on fire today. No, but it is very much like that. It just drops you back down into the trenches again, just get raw and dirty. It's a nice break.
And I think what I've also started to do is just, as well as the more jazz solo type stuff, is to just do a few stab bits and try and loop those a bit to give it more of a kind of, so it fits better with the techno. So then it just kind of further blends the lines between sort of what the hell is this? Is this like is it techno or is it something else or is it who knows? It's just And then I've started to reverse the piano as well, and that always sounds quite cool. So you've got a loop of this reverse. So because I record a loop into the RC 505 of a few chord stabs and you hold a few chords and then you just flick that into reverse and it plays it backwards. So you get like a zip sort of sound with the piano, and then you can twiddle that so that it loops further, sort of Fatboy Slimmy style repeats and stuff like that.
So is your background as like you had mentioned you were in a jazz band and stuff before you got into like electronic music and stuff? Were you?
Yeah, that was all at school. But before that, my mum and granddad were both piano teachers, so there was always a piano being played in the house at some point.
Nice.
And then I think when I was about 7, my mum told me one year I started just asking loads of questions about. There were these books of music, and all they had was a layer of notes and the chords and the words for whatever it was. So, and I kept saying, "What's C mean?" And she was like, "Oh, right, so this is a C major chord, and this is how you make it." And she showed me where my fingers go and all of that. And then she said, "And it works in all the keys. So if you see F, you can make it exactly the same way. You just go 1, that's an F chord, okay." And then I was like, "What's F M?" And she said, "Oh, that's F minor." Okay, so and she showed me that. So gradually over the course of that summer, I think she just taught me all the basic chord names and how to make them, and then I just twiddled with that and played music until I'd figured out chords and stuff like that, and then got into jazz because my granddad was a jazz pianist. He played piano in a big band, I think, in the Pitt Village or wherever it was, or the town, back in the day. And I had this recording of him playing the piano on our piano. So I was always trying to copy him and how he played and learn how and he sounded a bit like, I guess, if you've ever heard, not Errol Garner. His name will come to me anyway, but one of my favorite pianists, Oscar Peterson. Have you ever heard him, like chords, clangy chords, and just and almost playing the whole, like stride piano, I think is what it was the proper term for it. So that sort of where you're playing the chomping bass line with your left hand and doing chord things with the melody on your right hand, and basically doing full piano playing. So he could do all of that, and then my mum, she gave me all the theory and all of that, and then I had like a little jazz band at school. I did music technology at A level because the cool guy Kevin Wright, he was just this cool piano player who did, like, he had all synths and stuff like that and recording on an Akai sampler and like a studio, and it was just nice. And then got involved with the youth theatre at school, so did a load of both acting and playing in the band at youth theatre, and had an amazing
acting, huh?
Yeah, with youth theatre, yeah, it was good. So I think I was once a waiter. I played an English bloke with a hat.
Is that what it's called in the credit? English bloke with a hat?
Probably. I think we were doing. I don't know if it was the Four Yorkshiremen, the Monty Python sketch. I don't think I was involved in that. Somebody did the Four Yorkshiremen sketch, and it was all about England. My England was the play. It was great. So yeah, and then left school. That was the point that I went to Leeds, and then but that's kind of it basically. That's the whole lot. So basically, the inspiration for playing the piano came from my granddad and my mum. The knowledge about chords was my mum, and then me just twiddling about and playing, and then
kind of learning as you go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what's weird is that there was a massive gap of 20 years where I basically I would play the piano regularly, and occasionally play the piano, occasionally get the RM1X out, but wasn't saving anything, recording anything, committing anything to anything. And then something happened around, as I say, 2017, 2018, after buying that and being exposed to hardware jams and the internet music community at large. It was amazing.
I hear that a lot, honestly, of people that they have these long hiatus from, you know, doing super creative stuff with music, and, you know, not necessarily the hardware jams or the clown army or whatever, but like you said, just the internet music community in general, kind of bringing them out. I mean, of that hole. So that's one good thing I can say about the internet.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of good things we could say about the internet, but that is good. It's
well, that was it. And I think the whole meeting people, because there's a lot of, I think, from people that don't do it, there's often a bit of scorn about, oh yeah, your internet friends or whatever. But
yeah.
They're still real people, and the fact that, unfortunately, it took kind of, you know, Inky's death to get the rest of Hardware Jam's crew together to meet each other for the first time at her funeral, and meet other people from, like, that was the first time I'd met Mark, I think, as well.
Oh wow.
And I'm not sure if it was or not, but anyway, point being, we then met each other and stuff. Then, you know, we've met people now, and you realise then, actually, no, it's not just people on the internet typing stuff. That everybody's people, and they're real people. And, you know, when
it's not just a bot.
And when you connect those two worlds, it's really magical, I think, because, you know, when you go to things where we're now doing gigs at places, and I think of Grace and doing her, you know, attack release stuff up in Glasgow or wherever everybody's doing, and people are meeting each other and seeing each other and getting to know each other, and it's just, that for me is great, because it really, it takes the online stuff out into the real world,
right?
And yeah,
it's worth so much more. Worth its weight in gold. I felt that way. My other half would always, you know, joke with me and tease me, be like, your virtual friends, you're over there chatting with your virtual friends again. But then, like, when we, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, we went to Super Booth and met, you know, Mark and Alan, all sorts of people, Fanatic 12,000, met them all in real life, and it really like brought it home of like what it's really all about, you know. It's
exactly.
I'm more friends with people online than people in, you know, my real life. First time I met over 6 feet tall. Are you over
how small I was, I think. Apparently I'm small, and if you see me next to the panda, then I'm literally, panda towers above me, and so does Seb. I think so does Grace as well. Everybody's bigger than me. I think Mark, are we about the same height, or are you a bit smaller than me, Mark?
We are literally about the same height, but literally every time I see your videos or I see you online and stuff, I think, you know, you're like 6 foot tall. So when you came up to me, you're like, my God, he's almost the same size as me. What's going on here?
Well, Mark, I thought the same until I met you. I was like, oh, you know, he's probably a tall guy or whatever. And then I met you, and you came up to the bottom of my chin here. I was like, hey, little fella, how's the weather?
Yeah.
Hobbits.
Yeah, literally.
But that's the only surprise we have nowadays. I mean, I say this at work because, like, everything's on team chats and what have you. But if you ever do travel and meet people that you work with, the only surprise that you have when you meet them now, it's not what they look like. It's just, oh, right, oh, you're tiny. Oh my God, you're enormous. I didn't realize you were that big.
You actually have a lower half to your body. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, look, shoes and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're like hardware focused and stuff, but can you kind of walk us through like your creative process? Like when you go to start a track and stuff, do you just walk up and start punching in a sequence, or where does it all start for you when you start a jam?
So, I mean, two things. One, for the Hardware Jams challenge, or like there's always the theme in mind. Exactly, Alan. Yeah, there's always a theme in mind, so you know vaguely what you're aiming for. So it might be, if it's an ethereal thing, then I might start with a pad and try and get a good sounding pad. If it's a techno thing, then it's just probably start recording. But yeah, just start making sounds and plugging stuff in. Not with, I mean, I press record, but once I've selected the sounds, the jam's generally the jam. But it's that pre-selection of sounds so that it sounds okay and balanced, and then you're like, okay, that'll do, and then it's you kind of, so yeah, assuming that I've built a sequence on everything and it sounds decent if I've kind of built it that way without, just through kind of jamming with it for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. I'll then stop everything, set a timer, and go for the take or whatever. But again, it's always recording anyways, because you never want to lose anything. Not that I've ever gone back and used anything in the past. And you know what I mean?
But it's there.
Record it, but in case I need to. And then do a take within the 5 minutes or whatever the time it is. Sometimes we have like a 3-minute challenge. I should do that actually. We haven't done that for a while. And then if it was any good, I'll leave it, unplug everything, upload it. If it needs work, then I'll do another take. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 takes. And if you get to your 4th take, 5th take, you're just like, okay, do I need to think again on this one? Because it's not happening or whatever.
Just ain't gelling.
I'll probably just go back to the first one and just say, yeah, that'll do. And because generally it's always last thing on a Sunday night or as soon as I finish work on a Monday and I've got between 5 and 8 and a load of other shit to do. So it's like, it's always a panic. So that I think I've perfected the art of creating music in as short as time as possible without thinking about it or preparing any of it, and just basically starting, finishing, going, that's good enough, upload it and move on.
That's a super skill right there that a lot of people struggle with. Like me, for instance, I'll spend weeks sometimes, and nobody else notices.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody even notice. But I do.
As a result, though, I've released over 1,000 videos now on my YouTube, but it's every single jam that I've ever made since joining Hardware Jams, basically, and every one that I've made outside of that, every live stream, every live set that I've done for a festival, it's all there, and it's just start to finish. And I don't care whether it gets loads of negative what's-its or if it's just generally ropey as fuck, it gets uploaded, because that's the record of it, as it were. And yeah, I think that's the mindset that you need to have, is just make it and share it and move on, because you've made it. If it sounds all right, good enough, next. And then after a few weeks, I might go back and go, okay, that one seems to, like, I really like that one, or I like the sound of that one, or that one seems to be doing well, or people have really seemed to enjoy that one. I'll probably release it and then take the audio out, shove it into Logic, slap AI mastering assistant from Logic on it, make sure it doesn't sound completely gash, and then export it, upload it, release it, and again, just cobble together some kind of artwork. I like to, I've used a few of my paintings from when I was like a teenager. I would just draw random stuff and scribble stuff. So there's a lot of artwork on there that's either photographs that I've taken. I think for a period in 23, 24, I used a few DistroKid AI images, but then quickly I was like, this is right. So all I would do is find a decent photograph I've taken, play with the filters, mess with the color, slap some text on it, give it a weird scientific name, and then release it. Try not to focus too much on the detail. I can't be asked. I'd rather, the fun bit is the music and the process of making the music. I can't be asked to put any effort pretty much in promoting it afterwards. That's not true. I do put effort into promoting it, but not in terms of crafting a massive music video or anything like that.
All of that, yeah. I got you.
What I'm doing at the minute on TikTok is basically selfies with, you might have just found your new favorite electronic artist.
I've
and
seen
have
those.
The sound attached to it, and you can do 3 or 4 in a day. They always go to 200 to 300 new people. Out of those, 1 or 2 people follow the link, add your song if they like it. You can go through your whole catalog, and if one of them randomly gets 1,000 views, great. It's more people, and it's just. But you can then go back to your artist stats, and you can see people saving it and then playing it, and you're like, fucking hell, it works.
Nice. Yes.
And it takes as little mental capacity as possible that you can do it in 5 minutes, post and forget, and move on, and don't even worry too much of it, because 90% are going to just be shown to 200 people, and the people that follow you, they always see it as well eventually. But yeah, it's good to just, and then you stick them on YouTube Shorts as well, and they seem to get between 500 and 1,000 views sometimes as well. And so it's just,
I get 15 if I'm lucky.
Well, on normal videos I get about that, 30 to 50 maybe after a couple of weeks. But Shorts, either you get 20 views, or within an hour you've got 200, or sometimes you get like 600-700 within half. Like those the other night I posted one, and I was in my office where I'm here, walked downstairs, poured a beer, checked it, and it had 800 views, and I was like, what the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
I was like, within like half a minute, and I was like, YouTube, if it wants to, will just chuck it out there, but if people don't watch it, or they don't, if they drop off, it just dies really fast. Sometimes
I wonder if they do that to like get that dopamine hit, so that you'll
you keep going, yeah,
keep at it, like that, like in gambling, they let you win once, so that you just keep at it. But I love that your focus is primarily the music. A lot of people get down the rabbit hole of like. I've had people say, I can't come up with a name for the song and the artwork and how do you promote it, and they just get so wrapped up in that I feel like some people lose sight of what it's all about.
I think it's an artist thing. You want it to be the best. You've spent hours and it's part of your soul that's in it, and you want it to be presented. You want to do everything right. And I think the problem is, if it's good enough, why do you need anything more than that? Because chances are when you're starting out anyway, it's going to be seen by 5 people. You're going to be massively disappointed if you've invested a month or a massive load of money producing a video and then doing all this stuff, and then you're like, oh. When I think what you've just got to do is just get your stuff out there, get it heard in front of as many people as often as you possibly can. Keep going, because that's what used to happen on. If you think of radio, they would just play the same song throughout the day. Until eventually you go, I love that song. It's like, no, you don't. You've just heard it 50 times. And
You've been brainwashed.
So do the same with your stuff. If you've got a new release, put 20 little 1-minute shitty videos out with a picture of your face on it going, hello, I make electronic music. And then like people save it and play it, and you're like, shit, is that it? And then on the off chance that maybe one day, if the algorithmic gods sprinkle some fairy dust on you, and one of them pops off to 10K, then all of a sudden you jump up. But always, I follow this guy called Troy Titley. So if anybody know, this is where I got all this shit from. And he's basically just saying, just get on with it, do it. He's managed to take his band doing this and chart them in the UK and all this sort of stuff. And it's basically just a question of, it works at the minute. It's good for the platform. People know what to expect from it, and also people are on there looking for music. So if you can target those people and find the 1 or 2 out of the 200 that see it for the first time, who are desperate for new music, and are those tastemakers, if you like, who will then share it with people. That's kind of what you want. You don't care about anybody that says this is trash. Your hi-hats are too high. You could have if this somebody said, if you'd only cut this video a third of a second less, it would have been a perfect loop. I'm like, yeah, it would have been.
Whatever. Really?
Have I got the time to make sure
No.
it just fucking doesn't glitch? I'd love to do that, but no, I've got 5 minutes on my lunch while I'm having a dog walk, so I'm going to film a video of myself staring at the camera in a weird way, stick a sound on it, say, you might have just found a new song.
Yep.
And then you get home, and the next day you've got 3 saves on it it just helps.
It works though. I've seen your videos and stuff, and I'm like, I always stop and watch them because it's nobody else out there doing it like that. You know what I mean? So it kind of catches your attention.
No, but there's a lot of people doing it, and I think, but you don't.
Well, none that I know.
Well, and this is the other point that he makes. People are going, oh yeah, I've posted that, it didn't work. Yeah, you posted 2 videos, and you got moderate views or whatever. Great, well done. But if you just literally flood the place, eventually enough people will see it. But you're going to find somebody out of however many, whatever billion number of people there are on the app in the first place. Unless your views are up to in the billions, you have not saturated that app yet. So keep going. If you're seeing 200-300 views, then you're only just getting started. But don't sweat about it, and don't panic about it, and don't. I think once you let go of that caring, if it works or if it doesn't, and you move on to the next one, it frees you up to really just not give a shit and think, this is my music.
Where were you to tell me keep going earlier when I was flooding the internet with the flyer for this interview, and I stopped. I actually said to myself, "All right, Eric, that's a little spammy now. Calm down."
But the thing is, nobody's going to see it anyway. Even the people that follow you, 20% of them will see it every time. Like if I post a video on TikTok, within an hour, 99% new people, 1% followers. If I go back a week later, it's maybe 50-50, but the first flush is just always new people. So treat all of it as if nobody knows who the hell you are, and you're just introducing yourself every time, constantly. And as long as the people that really like your stuff don't get bothered by that, because they get it, that's how they found you, so they understand anyway, or they're like, well, I don't care, I like his music anyway. And again, they'll only see a fraction of what you post anyway, unless they go down your feed and look at everything.
Right.
So don't worry about it. And until some people tell you, in which case they probably weren't fans of yours anyway, so who cares?
Hey, those are
you
words
lose nothing. You
by.
lose absolutely nothing from just spamming the internet with your shit. And always lead with music, because if you lead with like memes or being funny or being an idiot or whatever, then that's what you'll get known for, and your music will always be secondary. But if you always go, this is my music, this is me, this is what I make, this is what my music sounds like, and literally just leave it at that, then people will basically go, yeah, I like that, or they won't. They'll scroll or they won't. I don't, who cares?
I think I'm known for being more of the clown. they expect me to say something inappropriate all the time. And usually I disappoint, because I'm actually quite boring in person.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody is dynamic and exciting and thrilling all the time, are they?
Nah.
People are human.
Circling back, I was going to ask you earlier, you were talking about your jams and stuff. Do you ever have like a jam that you might have made, let's say a year ago, or even maybe bits and pieces of it that end up in future sets or whatever you want to call it? Like,
definitely not in future sets. So one of the big regrets I have is I haven't saved anything. So I can't recreate any track that I've ever released other than by playing that track, which is fine. I could load it as stems or whatever. I can do stuff with it. It's not really an issue. However, I can't re-perform them live. So if I ever did a concert, people were like, oh, play Incompress, I'd be like, I might have the bass line patch in the monologue somewhere, but that's
you go off what's in your head, it would be something completely different.
Exactly. So, but that's my whole thing. That's why I can't be asked to be precise about it. I don't have songs that I can ever revisit. Anything I will perform will be new and made up there and then anyway.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
even on the Oxy, I could probably save everything, like every end of every stream that I do on a Thursday, I could probably save that as a thing, and then, it's there for the future. But life's too short.
Yeah. Move on. Make a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever have like any patterns or like melodies or leads or parts that you might do variations of frequently, if that makes sense? Like, is there anything that's like,
well, interestingly enough,
a tool that you pull out?
Generally, because I always have everything set up the same, the only thing I tend to change are the patch that I start on the bass and the monologue, but everything else generally is as it is when you turn it on. Yeah. I'm basically just doing the same jam every single time, but it's never the same. The outcome's always different. I've never made anything. I mean, it always has a similar sound. So people, it's got a recognizable sound to it, but the actual content of it is different, which is quite nice. Exactly, 285 Alan. Yeah. But the Microfreak, basically what he's talking about is on my stream, I used to call it random Microfreak patch of the week. And what I would do was just turn the patch knob until somebody said stop in the chat. And that got very boring after a while. Nice. There's a 20-second delay between me flipping the knob and YouTube chat catching it. Yeah. So I was like, anybody?
Anybody?
You'll get a random patch. So then I start asking for numbers between 1 and 512. That's the full range of the Microfreak. Because basically the Microfreak, I'm confident that any sound that you pick on the Microfreak, you can bend to your will and make it sound decent in that jam once it gets going. So you basically just dial it in, turn it on, play whatever it's playing, and then try and twiddle it so that it sounds good. So yeah, But that's also why it keeps it different and keeps it sounding different every time, because you never. I don't have we used to always ask, will it ARP before I had the Oxy, because the only way I could get it to play would be the Microfreak ARP was the thing that would change, and then I would see what that sounded like and build the rest of the sound. So then I'd change the kick accordingly, or new bass line or whatever. But yeah, it was always kind of the ARP, and I haven't used that will it ARP for ages actually. I think that's reminded me, because the Oxy's taken over the programming aspect of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, the first Clown Fest I did live, I used the same pattern for the bass line. Every single track, there's like 5 different tracks, and I just did the program change to change the patch, and nobody ever could tell it was literally the same notes being played.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You don't really need to. I mean, from a variety perspective and, keeping it interesting, it sometimes helps. But if it sounds good, again, don't worry about it.
Roll with it, baby. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I remember Mr. Wigley saying that at some point, because he was saying the whole approach to hardware jamming versus producing a well-crafted track. Sorry, I've got a dog coming in. Hello. We've got 5 dogs in the house at the minute. We've got people here.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Do you want another one, John?
Do
you want another dog?
No, I'm all right, thanks.
Are you sure?
Look, this one has very nice testicles.
No. Don't want Captain Teabag, thank you.
Can't give the poor guy away.
Exactly. Sorry, what was the question again? I've totally forgotten.
Me too. Too busy talking about dog balls and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Threw me a bit.
Fucking Mark
pops up with his balls swinging.
You were talking about Mr. Wigley had said that.
He was talking about hardware jamming, and because he would find that he did a few submissions to hardware jam challenges a few times, and he was always concerned that it was not sounding as good as he wanted to do or whatever. And there is an element of it evolves as you twiddle things, and then at some point it kind of clicks, and there's a bit that just goes that bit. And what he liked was the fact that everybody's on with you for the journey, and it's fine, and then when it does, and everybody gets it at the same time, and it's just like, yes, that's the hello.
You sure you don't want him?
Oh no, I don't know. He looks.
Are you sure?
Slightly sarcastic.
Yeah, he's like, what? Poor dog was put on the spot.
Yes. So yeah, I like that about it. The fact that it's less polished, a bit more raw, a bit more human, and there's the chance of disaster at any moment. I think we always say that hardware jams is built on panic, because that's the whole feeling you have when you're making something like that. It can all go wrong, especially if you're live streaming it. You can quite easily stop everything and go, but nobody knows. Start again, and it's like it was artistic effect.
So it makes me think of 2 things that happened to me. Two different scenarios, but the first one was a happy accident. The first Clown Fest I did a live stream on with my synths. I was launching all the MIDI parts with my APC 64, and it's got these like touch things on the side here that you can assign to different things. And I didn't realize that I had it. It was all lit up because it looked pretty on camera. But I accidentally smacked one with my pinky, and it turned like one of the synth volumes to like maximum, and I was like, darn my head. I was like, what do I do? Yeah, that was the first thing. I did that. And then thank God I thought quick enough to go into it, because it was Ableton was running everything, and I just clicked undo the last step, in the edit.
Cool.
I was like, okay, where the fuck was I?
Back in the room.
Back in the room. Okay. The second one was at Super Booth. They had this acid tent for the RE, the DIN Sync guys.
Yeah.
They do all the recreations.
RE3.
Yeah. And so they had the table set up, and all of the synths were playing at one time on the loudspeakers and stuff. And I pulled up to a 303, started just randomly twiddling stuff on it. And I'm like, I can't hear any difference. I can't hear any changes, right? And so I was like, all right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this one, and I'm going to listen for the sound that stops. Little did I know it stopped the entire fucking thing. I hit stop, and I was like, oh, God, no. It hit play real quick before anybody realized it was me that stopped the whole entire shit.
Definitely wasn't me. Just carry on.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, latency, was that ever an issue when you were using Ableton? How does that work? Because every time I've put anything in, there's always like a fraction of a delay, but I never understand how that works.
Honestly, I battled with latency in Ableton for years and years and years. The only thing I can say to everybody is get one of these
MIDI clock.
Is it?
Yeah, just get a little MIDI clock. About 130 quid these days. Send one to Ableton, one to your synths, and honestly, it'll keep it rock solid and in time.
And you don't hear the delay, or do you still?
No.
That's yeah.
The only way I got around that was I got a fucking expensive ass MacBook Pro, and it just you could probably just send a spaceship to the outer fringes of the universe with this fucking computer. It's so insane, and my wallet is still recovering years later from that purchase. I never told.
But it'll last.
Well, I was trying to future proof. I was so sick of all the drama for my old computer. That I was just trying to future-proof myself so I'd never have to think about a computer again. And I still haven't told my other half how much I paid for it. Like, oh no, it's only $1,000. Yeah.
A week for a few weeks, it's fine. Yeah, because I think I would love to try out stuff like Ableton and because I think it is really powerful, and obviously for preparing and planning stuff and triggering stuff, I think it can be great, but yeah, I've just not got there yet. I'm just having too much fun. And I think what I do want to do though is get like a UMC 1820 whatever, an input, so you can put all of your synths with an individual input, and then I can actually at least record it into Logic as I go, so that I've got everything singled out. Because at the minute I've just got left and right out the mixer. I could do stuff coming out the TR-8S, but again, that's only going to be the drums plus the external ins, which isn't everything, because there's also the looper. But that would technically work, but yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I can't picture you using Ableton for some reason.
No, I don't really want to
picture you.
It's more just for I think it would be good to have a DAW stream with every synth with its own thing, because then you can
tracking purposes and
but not that I would ever go back and change anything, I don't think, unless there was something that I really liked that was clearly out or needed fixing. I think I can't be asked. It's gone, it's done.
You should start a side hustle where you record it, and then you'll never use them again, but you could sell it to other people. Like a sample pack or something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If it was all tracked into a DAW, then you could chop bits out and turn that into a sample pack from loops or whatever. As it is, it's the whole thing all the time, including my chatting over the top, because I haven't my mic comes through the RC505, which is in the main signal chain anyway. So it's not even like I can, if I need to repurpose it for something else, I've got to basically cut out those bits where I talk, which is what I do on SoundCloud and SoundCloud.
It's your vocals on the track.
Yeah, no, me going, any numbers for the microphone, please? Happy Friday.
So how did your weekly streams come about? How long have you been doing them, first off?
So let me have a look.
I feel like I've been seeing them at least since like 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just go to the source. So it looks like the first one was kind of April 2022-ish.
Oh, I was way off then.
That was when I think the first time that I used the phrase "jazzy sprinkles," or let's have a look. Videos. Let's turn it. It won't show me in reverse order. And you're going to make me do page at a time, are you? Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
Technology, it's great when it
Yeah,
works.
8th of April, it was called Late Night Improvised Techno Acid Jazz Techno Jams, which is trips off the tongue beautifully.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to Late Night Jazz Sid Techno, techno with jazz on top.
Slowly get there. You're getting there.
On the 3rd of May, 2022, Late Night Techno Sessions, Improvised Techno with Jazzy Sprinkles. So that was the first.
There you go. The winner.
Yeah. And then it was jazz piano sprinkled on top. So, and then it settled down to Jazzy Sprinkles at that point. It was still Jazz Sid Techno. And then I think it full on became Jazzy Sprinkles around about June 2022. So yeah, 2022 was when that all began. And the idea basically was to press record, press go on the stream, and see if I could make a live set or not. And yeah, but it grew out of, like, if you look at the ones prior to that, they were all kind of 15 minutes, because I was trying to extend, the goal that I had was to extend the time I could improvise. So initially it was like 5 minutes for a hardware jam, maybe 6 to 7 if you kept going. Then I started to do like 15-minute live streams where I was just trying to go make it happen for 15 minutes. And then they turned into kind of 30 minutes. And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to see if I can go for an hour this time and just see what I need to do. Because previously I'd have loads of patterns on the TR-8S that I would then switch to and then improvise around each one. But it was all pre-prepared initially. But then I was like, I can't be asked to do all this. This is too hard.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, yeah, basically I was like, I just need to just do nothing to prepare, press go, and play, and then see what happens. And yes,
I know. When I first, saw the your streams, your weekly streams, it was like the timing was perfect because it was a night. Once a week, I had to do like a real late shift at work doing security, and the time was perfect for it. It'd be like the soundtrack of my night kind of thing, and I'd just like put my little phone in my pocket, and I'd walk around doing my rounds. And all these old ladies and old men and stuff would be like, "What is that noise?"
Yes.
What is that noise? You call that music? I'm like, yeah, baby.
It's all right. It's not music, so don't worry about it. It doesn't classify as music. There was some great comment that I got on. Yeah, I was like, this is how it was a little short that I'd done or something, and I put it on Facebook. And the guy said, I certainly hope you weren't referring to that noise that we heard as music, because it clearly had no reference to music whatsoever. And funnily enough, that week I'd managed to, I think the live electronics category on Mixcloud, the live jam that for that week had actually got to #1 in live electronics. So I went and got a screenshot of it and edited #1 in live electronics. And I was like, #1 in random shit sounds. Like that, put it on there, and then pasted it under his comment and said, "Would you look at that?" As if by magic, it's #1 in the random shit sounds that aren't music category.
I'm fucking dead.
He didn't reply, like. So.
I think he was like, "Oh my!"
Wow, so that's a category.
Well, if that's a category, I think that's where all of my music falls. So.
What can you do? I mean, not everybody likes electronic music.
What's wrong with them, though? Fuck.
Well, they just haven't heard the right stuff yet. They haven't landed on the wrong stream at the right time.
They keep hearing that mainstream BS.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll scare you away.
That was some funny feedback I got on a Submit Hub. I tried to send something. Said, sounds great, but it's way too underground for us. I was like,
oh wow,
nice. That's a compliment and a half, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. So
exactly. That's my idea. It's to be so unlistenable that it's so far underground you need a shovel to hear it.
You need a shovel to hear it. Well, I love how as we're going through, you're like answering, like I got these silly questions. It's kind of like a guide that I don't follow it, step by step, but just if I like forget what I was going to say, I'm like, oh yeah, here's this question. And you just like answer them as we go. But I was going to ask you, how do you know like when your track's done? Because like that's more of a question that would be geared towards somebody that's like producing and doing the whole polish things. I don't know if that really pertains to like hardware jamming as much.
Only in the sense that if there's something seriously goes wrong in it, I just basically go, nah, then I'll do another take. But that's the only. I think initially when I started releasing stuff, there were times when I had weird crackles, so I had to chop because of the mixer that I was using was not very good. But so I had to like edit those out and splice the crackles out because that really it sounded awful. But then that kind of stopped being a problem, and then I never go back and change anything. I'll either do a few takes and share one of them, but then the releases side of it is more based on which ones I think sound like full tracks with a proper structure or near enough, or I just like them. And you want to, But I think out of 1,000 YouTube videos, I've released 73 tracks since 2018. Wow. So it's not a massive amount. It's a real low percentage of them. Although I am thinking about creating a new artist persona or something for the slower jams that I've done, like because I've done quite a lot of trip hop, D&B sort of dub, and just general electronica sort of stuff. That's totally not in the techno vein. But I think I've got a collection of about, I don't know, 30 or 50 things that are all a lot slower, a lot more in the trip hop sort of area. I'm thinking about trying to build something out of that as an alias or something.
That'd be cool.
Because I use my full bloody name. It's ridiculous as my artist name. And I still can't remember why I did that, because I should have come up with a cool idea. But no, I'll just be like, how to anonymize it. Make yourself more recognizable by using even more of your full name than just you normally do. Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
And then if it all goes...
But then you get that Jonathan Sprinkles.
Yeah. Well, that's it. A lot, because that's it. It's techno with Jazzy Sprinkles. It's like, who's this Jazzy Sprinkles guy? I'm like, no, I'm not Jazzy Sprinkles. Jazzy Sprinkles is not a person or a persona. But
the JRC rolls off the tongue really nice.
Yeah, and JC works as well. So
JC, I don't know. Jesus our Christ!
Well, actually, Half God, Half Beast. There is already all of the ones that I'm talking about. I think are already on Bandcamp, as they're all the drone ones. Like there's deep dark drone, subma drone, underwater drone. All this dark, mad, twiddly shit with no beats and some beats. That's all out there. So, but it's basically that I'm going to do something with. I think.
Nice.
Because
what ideas do you have for your second persona? What would you call
that's
yourself?
Where I'm stuck. I think I want it to be. I always with all the tracks that I've released so far, they've all had some form of scientific-y something bent to them. Maybe like if I just read some of them out, maybe not as more recently, but certainly earlier on. I think I was always trying to conjure up kind of some, I don't know why, but like, so if I go to the bottom, we've got excessive elementals, sunset techno, ink pressed, because that was the artwork that my daughter had made, and she folded the paper over it and it made an ink press. But then particle takeover, mono vacillation, lunar ephemeris, all this bollocks.
Mono vacillation, that sounds kind of kinky.
Yeah, it's basically, vacillation is to shake back and forth, and a mono, I was thinking an oscillator, basically. But the album art is a picture of a, I don't know if you can see it, it's basically
looks like a leaf.
It is a leaf. It is a avocado leaf that I grew. So all of my artwork's just photos that I've taken of shit. I've got a broken phone screen for Techno Zenith. That's a purple hued piano seat. The leather on the top of my piano seat close up, but made purple. But it looks like some
little cracks, like from another planet or something.
Yeah, that's a post-it note that I scribbled on with like pen.
Sharp things. I love it.
So yeah, you don't need much imagination to come up with. Oh, that's a photo of taking a photo of the grass as you spin your camera. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway.
What was the name of it?
Lilt.
Lilt. Lilt. So say lit. I want to get lit.
I think it's if it's not Jonathan R. Cross, it's Piano Teapot. So Piano Teapot or
Piano Teapot.
Yeah. Jonathan R. Cross, I think. Or Jonathan should find me. Why don't I just get the actual link? It might be a bit easier. It's pianoteapot@bandcamp.com. There you go. Oh, I didn't post. I'll have to send it to Mark. Hold on.
What is that? The link for your Bandcamp?
Yeah, but it's just it's pianoteapot@bandcamp.com. But yeah, I think it's called that one. If you scroll quite a long way down, ambient drone sessions. There's a few in that one. There's 4 in that one. But yeah, stay tuned basically because I'm gonna do something with them at some point when I can be asked.
I love how y'all over there use the term asked.
Asked, yes.
Asked.
Can it be asked? There's not a lot of ask goes on unless you're talking about a donkey.
Nice, there it is. Speaking of, I was going to ask. I believe we have the track that you just released. I think it's Plex. I think it's that Plex one right there. Yeah.
And this was from the LFO challenge and Hardware Jam. So one of them was play with LFOs and make a jam using LFOs. So on this one, I think I had LFOs going on the Microfreak. There was an LFO on the monologue, so the bass line, it goes along a bit, and then all of a sudden you hear this really sort of high-pitched, and it's on the fast LFO, and you ramp it all the way up on shape, and it makes this mad, you'll hear it anyway. Yes.
Roll that beautiful beat footage.
Yeah, that high pitch ringing, that's the LFO on the monologue.
I love what Alan just said there. Yeah.
Sibby.
Duh. I feel like that LFO is the gift that just keeps on giving, man.
Yeah, because it's mad what it does to the bass line. Because you're like, all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's way high, and you're like, whoa, where's that gone?
And it just it changes. It just seems to keep changing. It doesn't
Yeah.
get like stagnant, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone is dancing, Alan said.
Kitchen disco.
Kitchen disco. So is there any kind of music outside of electronic music that you like or gives you influence and stuff?
Definitely jazz, because I think that was what
I knew it.
Yeah, I used to play the piano in a restaurant when I was, I think, 17 or something. That was my first job, proper like weekend job or whatever. I think I did 3 hours on a Saturday night at this restaurant in Corbridge called the
Yikes.
Ramblers Restaurant. So you had lots of drunken posh people going, "Hello, do you know this one?" Like, no, I'm like, well, I've got these books, but I don't know that one. Well, it's lovely anyway. So yeah, I did that for a while. So yes, jazz, but then because I did music at school, obviously classical music, and like learning all about that is always fascinating. Just basically most music. I think in the 80s I missed or ignored quite a lot of the pop music stuff that was going on. I was more interested in like Alice Cooper, Tom Waits, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Nina Simone, all of that. Just everything from Iron Maiden, who did Dr. Feelgood? He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood.
Motley Crue.
Right. Motley Crue, like all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a while I was a rocker as a young teenager.
Motley Crue and ZZ Top was the first concert I ever went to in my life.
Cool.
I was like just a little kid too, and they had the camera. They would break the camera out and film the audience, and the girls would be throwing their shirts up and showing. It was the tick cam, I think is what they called it. And they'd be like, "Yay!" And I was like, "Oh my god."
My eyes.
My mom was like, "Cover your eyes, honey." I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, so
I couldn't picture you a rocker. I can't picture it. Now I'm picturing you with like big hair and all of it.
No, I had never a lot of hair. I mean, sometimes quite wavy hair, but never long hair. But I would wear like Alice Cooper t-shirts and drainpipe jeans, and I'm skinny anyway, so I looked like a golf club because I had like Doc Martens at the bottom. So it was basically just like if you swung my leg, you could have knocked one for six. But and then that just turned into sort of general 90s sort of hoodies and jeans, and I don't think I've ever moved on from that point. I'm now
me neither.
Don't think I have other than that. But yeah, the music wise, and now because I've got two daughters who are teenagers, they're now finding stuff and they listen to stuff, and some of it's quite good. Like I quite like, what's one of the ones that they like? TV Girl, quite good. And then some, but a lot of I'm not quite convinced on some of the new ones. There seems to be a thing about people, singers who pronounce things in a weird way, or in the back of my throat, or whatever. And you're like, well, there's nothing to it. I want somebody that belts it out and sings a song rather than no, not Taylor Swift, but like I don't know. It's like they're put on this affected sort of speech impediment-y sort of voice, and you're like, you don't sound like that when you talk. How do you sing like that? So yeah, but
I know
some of it's really good.
So behind on all of the new stuff. Like the
one that's stuck in my head at the minute is "All the Man I Need" by Olivia Dean. It's literally just for 3 weeks. I have to hear it in the morning. I play it again in the vocal fry. That's the one. Yeah, I hate that, but yeah, that is because I think she feels more jazz than anything else at the minute. Olivia Dean, like her songs seem to be more on the influenced by classic sort of songs that are built in a really good way, and her voice is amazing as well. So I just have to. That's what I'm repeatedly listening to at the minute. So I think I've got, and then I'll play left field from start to finish. Leftism from start to finish one day, or bang on some brown paper bag, or some. Or then rinse all of the old techno, CJ Bolland, and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, there's nothing really that I would say I gravitate to more than anything else. I listen to a lot of stuff.
Do you like country?
No.
I like
Generally,
everything
no.
but country.
I love
I'm
the
not that
pause
keen on-
there. Like Jonathan was like, I should say something nice about this. No, fuck it, no. I'm sorry, no. There's just no.
No, sorry. I mean, although there's blurred lines as well, because now there's a lot of people going into
like
kind of
crossovers,
country grime or country rap or whatever. And, it's all a bit- I'm from Newcastle, John Carter, but I was at Leeds in 1996, 95, 96, and went to the Orbit a lot in Morley. But yeah,
John Carter
Dolly
likes
Parton.
Dolly Parton.
I have to say, Too Many DJs, as heard on Radio Soulwax Part 2, Dolly Parton mixed into, what they called? I can't remember the name.
Röyksopp!
Anyway, Röyksopp, thank you.
That is an absolute quality tune.
925 and then
Geniuses, absolute
It's
geniuses.
just cracking. And the bit before that, into 9 to 5 as well, is just and then the whole sweet seduction in the magazine. That whole part 2 is just. I've played that. I mean, all of the Soulwax is good, but the one that stands out is Radio. So it's part 2 in particular. That's the one I know it inside out. Literally, it's just insane.
I forgot about Soulwax, Alan. I forgot about them. I was on a big kick for a while listening to all that. Aren't they the ones that did a bunch of the Grand Theft Auto radio station music?
Yes, yes, they did. Yeah. I play their Kylie Minogue remix all the time. It's fucking brilliant, honestly. Soulwax are geniuses.
Yeah. So what do you find the most difficult part about making music or jamming and stuff? Is there a part that you're just like, fuck, I hate this?
A few things, I think. So find time to do it. So I think sometimes it's hard to just get up there and start. So that's why I love hardware jams, because it's like, gotta do it. So there's that makes me do it. There's my Thursday stream, which makes I'm committed to that time as much as I can now anyway. So 11 o'clock on Thursday, that's what I'm doing. I don't have a choice. I have to make music. So I've got these periods in time in my week where I know I will be making music, and then the rest of my life has fits into the rest and the music. So I think if I could increase some of those windows somehow, I think that would be great, and do more of it. But yeah, for a while the whole music promotion thing and trying to get that was a bit. I just wasn't really keen on having to do it. It felt weird. It feels a bit.
It does.
Yeah. Tooting your own trumpet and it's like, but you feel like you have to do it, and because nobody's going to hear it unless you do, but then in the last sort of since mid-September, I think, when I started following that Troy Titley guy, he kind of just was the one that almost gives you permission to just say, spend less time, don't invest effort in promoting, just literally get it out there, especially on TikTok. I mean, I don't know about other places, it might be a bit different, but it seems to work on YouTube as well. Just put your stuff out there and move on. And if people like it, great. Don't sweat if they don't. It's like...
It does feel really weird, like tooting your own horn, and I don't know why. It's like when you do a job interview, it kind of feels weird. Like, I'm so great. Just this my accomplishments. Look at this.
Yeah, no, you're right, John Carter. Brits apologizing for everything and being quite self-deprecating. Like, how are you? Yeah, not bad. It's like not bad is really good. It's like, I'm fine. There's no problems, but it's not bad. And we would never say, "Oh, we're not in the American sort of sense of I'm amazing. Oh, you guys, I'm so buzzing for today." It's like nobody in the UK buzzes for today. We might walk up to the bus stop or whatever and go, and nod at somebody and moan about the weather, or it's gone cold, hasn't it? Oh, nights are drawing in now. The clocks have gone back. Oh, that's it. Yes. Oh, I tell you, we just like to complain, but in a kind of you know.
I love your American imitation there, by the way. Can I hear it one more time?
Oh my God, you guys, we're totally buzzing for this. Oh gosh, golly gee, Moses.
I'm hearing South Park here.
Yeah, me too.
You guys, hey you guys.
Oh, that made my day. That made my day. Speaking of time change, man, that fucked me up this morning. I'm glad you said something. I was like, literally, I just gotten like all dressed, did my hair, and I was sitting here like waiting.
Ready to start. And you're like,
I'm like, where the hell is everybody? And he's like, oh yeah, dude, the time changed. Didn't you know? Like, no.
You feel it.
Yeah, can't you feel it? No, it's so weird. Like, why is there that delay? Like, we don't change until next week.
Yeah,
Weekend, like a week from now. It's like, what the fuck?
What can you say?
Do an English accent. Oh, bloody hell! That's all I got.
Bloody hell! Oh my God,
Bloody hell.
Governor! I say.
Yeah, Governor.
Why am I still hearing South Park?
That was a bit. It kind of sent me down Mary Poppins lane a little bit.
Mark, that's because you're a towel. That's all I can say about that. What is it? Coralummy, Winkles, and Guinness?
Yeah.
I don't
Winkles
even know.
Winkles are seafood. Well, I say seafood. They're small little black things that you find on rocks that you pick out with a pin and eat. Winkles and Willocks, as we call them in Geordie Band.
Sometimes I read or I hear people, especially like from Scottish or Irish and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I know you just said a series of words that are English, but I have no fucking clue what it meant.
Well, I'm from Newcastle, but I don't have a strong Geordie accent because I was brought up in like Northumberland, which is different again, and each little village has its own accent. Depending on where you are, you can almost tell where somebody's from based on how they say certain words. Ashington always gets a good load of stick because they pronounce some things. Like my uncle we used to go around and visit, and there was one day, and he would say this phrase, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Newton, I'm taking the Durga's wheel," and you're like, "What? What did he?" And what he said was, "I'm going out and I'm taking the dog as well." But it was like, "I'm Newt, and I was taking the Durga's wheel," so they call the dog a Durg.
The Durgie. Now I'm like thinking of the Pink Panther.
Taking the Durg.
I bet you can do a great Geordie accent, GC. I don't even know what that means.
The Geordie accent. Wait, if I was from Newcastle and I sounded like this, it's like, have you ever heard Cheryl Cole? Because she sounds like that. She's a Geordie. But if I was, and then there's different types of Geordie accent. You get to be like, yeah, what you doing? Nah, I didn't sound like that. You're not like, yeah. Come here. What the fuck? Nah, I don't believe it, man. I can't believe it, man. So,
I think you missed your second calling, man, of doing like impersonations of people. Jesus.
So yeah,
we'll just do it. The rest of the show will just be you doing impersonations of people.
Fine. Well, I once we did a changeover of hosts and hardware jams in the middle of the stream through, so we'll typically have two hosts doing the first half and the second half, and it was my turn to go on the second half. So I decided I would try to impersonate Septic Smile, Seb, on as I went in. So I always have the hardware jams logo up as my screen, so you can't see who it is. So that comes up, and I'm going, "Oh, hello, yes, it's Seb. Hi, how's it going? All right, and I tell you what, right, okay, here we are." And then I pop up and said, "Actually, it's not Seb." And I think there were about 2 people that were maybe fooled out of the people watching. But yeah, so that's
probably sitting there like, "Fuck you, John."
I did a really bad Sam impersonation as well. The panda one wasn't very good. It needs work, I think. Grove. Yeah, if you know Ant and Dec, they were in Biker Grove, was a series for kids on the telly when we were little, and that's where they first became famous on Biker Grove, because Ant got shot in the face with a paintball and went blind, and Dec then, it was a traumatic episode, that one, I have to say. And then they became famous, and they were the two that kind of went on and became Ant and Dec, because they were Ant and Dec, because that's their names.
Real original. So out of all of your synths right now, bringing it back to music, reeling it in. Mm-hmm. Welcome to Eric's ADD Hour. Tonight, I'm your. Wait, what? What are we talking about again? No. What's your favorite synth out of or piece of kit out of everything you have right now? It's like the one that just gives you the biggest heart on.
That's hard. That's really hard.
I know.
No. Well, I think it's always the monologue is always going to be kind of king baseline for me. I think it's the simplest. It sounds great. It's really flexible, and I know what to dial in to make it do stuff, which is great. The TR8S, I think, from the perspective of drums and just general being able to program it really fast and do
I gotta tell you a
second.
Quick side story, and it's the story of my life about the TR8S. Like way back when it came out, I was a broke bitch and I was saving up money for the TR8. I was like, I finally had enough. I found a good deal online for a secondhand one. And I was like, yes, I'm finally going to get it. I've been saving up for months, and just wanking over YouTube videos endlessly. And so I got the TR8, and I shit you not, the same day it arrived, they announced the TR8S. Like,
no, you bastards.
Just like I would just a little bit more, save up just a little bit more, and I would have had the sampler. And all
the TR8 is cool though. I have to say.
It is. I love it though. I love it. It's like
it's got something about it. I think, like especially when it's overdriven a bit, and it's got a lot of, it's got some good sounds. But yeah, the TR8S arguably is more flexible because of the ability to play samples. But I guess the kicks and all of that sort of stuff, it's still the same ACV stuff. Or is it is, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what
TR8 analog or not? No, it's still ACV.
No, ACV. Yeah. The beauty of the TR8 is its simplicity.
Yeah.
There's no menu dive in.
Way better than the TR8s.
Oh really?
Yeah.
God, it must be awful then.
Well, the TR8s is almost unusable. It's a weird reversey thing, but for the TR8, people used it and I was like, oh, that sounds all right. But
I struggle with the scatter. I always hit it at the wrong time, and it's just all out of sync and whacked out. You know what I wish that they would allow you to do? You can go online and on the Roland website and get different kits for the. I'm talking about the TR8, like the 909. Well, it comes with that, but you can get all the different kits.
More now, because previously you could only get the 727 or the 707.
There's at least a handful out there.
Yeah.
I wish that I could import my own kick sound and my own snare sound, if I could make a sample in Ableton and then load it into there, that would be that'd be so cool. I think they allow you to do that. I think they allow you to do that on the new one. What is it? The
TR1000.
Yeah.
TR1000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be back later, baby. No, I'll be back. It's a mimetic poly alloy, very tough. Makes banging bass lines and kick drums as well.
Yeah, you just have to sell both your testicles to be able to afford it.
Just about to say that it's a frightening fucking price. It is a frightening price.
But then somebody worked out something like $30 a knob. So
Hey! I've had more expensive knobs in my life.
I'll leave that one up for you, though.
Thanks. I'm curious to see what that TR1000. What happens?
I'd love one. I have to say.
I know, me too. But I'm curious to see if its value will hold over time and stuff.
I think it's big, though. I think it's sizable.
Mammoth.
It's got a good. It's like ARP size, I think, almost.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've not seen one. But people have been surprised how big they are, I think.
Well, my issue with this is who wants to spend $2,000 on a drum machine? Do you know what I mean? $2,000 on a fucking drum machine? Jesus Christ! It better have the most bells and whistles on the damn thing, or
I feel like for $2,000, I could fucking build 2 or 3 cases and have infinite possibilities.
What about the Percons? Looks amazing. And then there's the Pulsar 23. I would probably rather spend that sort of money on one of those type of things than
the hex drums or whatever it's called. the newer one, or
No, the Percons.
Yeah.
Looks
yeah.
mint. I fancy
I know.
that.
I got the little Perkons voiceover here, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah. What does that do?
If you're going to spend that much money on it, get something that's unique, in my opinion, not just a reissue of a 909 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What are those? The Alpha Jomox bass line, kick drums or something. They sound pretty good as well. And then the Performer. There's like some really creamy synths that I would rather spend. If I was going to spend a stupid amount of money on one synth, I would probably want to spend it on something like that rather than a drum machine.
A drum machine,
with many features.
And like what Mark was saying, it's just the same thing, like hashed over with a few more features. You know, like can we get something original? You know, we like our 808s.
It's still not. It's not even proper analog, though, is it? Like they keep saying it's analog, but it's not. It's still ACB analog.
Yep.
Analog with maybe an analog filter. I don't know. I assume it's.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. But yeah, I'll stick with my thing over here, my TR8, and I'm good. That Percon's voice is pretty sick.
Is it a synth sound or like what?
It's a little bit of everything, honestly. But it's only got the one voice though, so like.
So it's one voice of a Percons, basically.
Yeah, basically. But it can do all the sounds, but it's just like one lane. And I've been having fun with it because you can set the CD to whatever source that you're coming from to change the patch in like a rhythmic way, and I've had so many like interesting little accidents, where like I'll just wang a knob on here.
Oops, little accident there.
Yeah, oopsie.
Oh, I've gone again. Oh dear. Oops.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, you twiddle the knob, you have a happy accident, and then a happy ending at the end. It's just like it's fine.
Happy ending.
I've got to think about endings in terms of when synth jamming, because I hate it when people do a fade out because that always winds me up. It's like I just want you to just or like just do something on the.
What's your favorite way to end
kick rolls. So I'll just try to keep building and building and building, and then start going, and then stop it.
Nice. It's almost like a little bit of chaos, and then I've
any kit I've got my eye on. No. Oh, John. Oh, you talking? Sorry, he's chatting in the chat.
Oh, so there's no kit you got your eye on?
No, that was to you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have. Weirdly, I think I'm fine with what I've got.
What? No gas?
Yeah, there's always gas. No, I mean, apart from just lusting after stuff because it looks cool.
Right.
I don't think, I think if anything, I need to get rid of some stuff maybe because I've got stuff piling up in the corner, like the micro Korg I haven't used for years, but I never want to get rid of it. The Base Station 2 I generally don't use, but I should get into it and learn how it really works properly. What else have I got? The Sculpt I need to resurrect. I've got a Chaos Pad 2 that I want to get back in there.
Well, I would say I would buy some of these synths you don't want, but I think the shipping would rate me.
Yeah. Well, especially with your orange Cheetos tariffs. I tell you what, I am going to buy something soon though. I'm going to buy a Model D off a friend because he's getting rid of it. Nice. So I'll get a second-hand Model D. And hey, Des. Nice.
Why would you want the Model D?
Well, he's selling it, so I may as well buy it.
Because he can, Mark. Because he can. Damn it.
But it's basically. I mean, it's what? Do you not like it?
It's awful.
Is it?
It's just really basic and just I had it for a while and it was like I don't like this, so I sold it to Roy and then Roy gave it to Jonathan Warren Prism. So literally, yeah, honestly, it's the model. How much you paying for it? You don't have to tell us if you don't.
£100.
Oh, so then like for under 100 quid, yeah, for the price of a Volca, you might just as well give it a bash. But I'd like to know your take on that because literally, I was like, no.
We're going to be waiting for a review now.
Yeah, literally.
Well, I was thinking to basically double whatever I put on the monologue on it, so it's basically turn the monologue into a 4 OSC.
That's not a bad idea. I will recommend the Hydrosynth Explorer on a budget. I will recommend the Hydrosynth. Honestly, the sounds in that are just absolutely
they look amazing.
amazing.
Like, I have to say,
yeah.
Is that in a module at all? You can't get it. You can get it in a module as well, can't you? Desktop synth rather than a
yes.
Yeah.
Because space is a factor now. Oh, that's the other thing I want. If I'm focusing on anything coming up, it's putting stuff in a live set case that I can transport around more easily.
Like you just open it up and it's like, plug it, exactly. It's ready to go.
And then I was starting to think, well, if I do that, then do I just leave it permanently in that? And then, but yeah, because the whole tear down, and that's an annoying thing about playing hardware is,
oh my God,
carrying it to a gig, which luckily for the Newcastle one, I could set it all up at home on a table, get it all Velcroed down, plugged everything in, tested it the night before, covered it with a towel, and then put it in the back of the car, and it was fine, and you just carry it about. But when I went to Manchester for the Pierrot one, obviously it all had to be in a suitcase and set up at the venue, which was fine. It wasn't really a problem. But it is, I think I'd lost something happened on the Oxy, and it had gone wrong with MIDI channels, and stuff had changed, and I was like, oh, and
what the hell?
So that was a bit of a challenge.
That was hilarious. John was like, I've got a hum. So I'm running around to the sound tech going, where's the hum coming from? Why have we got a hum coming out? And they literally stopped his set and the hum's still going. He's like, oh, it's this synth, and turned it off.
I turned the volume down on my amp and I went, no, it was me. Yeah. And I think it was either the spring reverb on the Swarm going crazy with the sound, just feeding back on itself, or there was a MIDI note that was holding on the Microfreak that was way up high, that was just basically ringing out because it hadn't, like something had gone wrong with, and I needed a MIDI panic button or something. But yeah,
they need to have that MIDI panic.
There is, because I think you get it indoors, don't you? But often a synth doesn't have it. Then you need a big red panic button. Undo. Okay, that's where we're at. Yeah, I've only had one experience with like a setup and breakdown of a hardware person, and that was Sarah Summers. I went, hung out with her in New York back in, I think it was March or something, and I helped her set up for the sound check and shit, and I was like, oh my God, you do this every single time? And then at the end of the night, it's like at that place in particular, it's like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you've been awake all night, and you're like, fuck, just put it in there, Yeah, and then you've got to cart it across town or wherever, or like, how do you transport it? It's a not, but yeah, it's still.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, I'm sure it's still worth it, but if I could just get it in a couple of cases and then open the window, that's what you need.
Yeah, I helped Sarah pack down when we went to see her in Germany, and her kit is fairly easy to pack down. Yeah. I used to have 150 cables for this thing, and 20 odd MIDI cables and 20 plugs. And it was just screw that. Taking this out these days has no appeal whatsoever.
Yeah. Hell no.
I can see why that would be appealing, to have a modular case replicating all the little elements. So you've got a bass line, drums, effects, a Microfreak engine, and that's, I can see, because you can put actually in a case rather than.
What I like about this one here is I got the mini brute down here, and then the rack brute, which it's obviously made for it, but you put these little spacer things up here, and the whole thing folds, and you don't have to unplug anything. It just folds and locks in. You carry it like
pretty
a
cool.
Suitcase. I was like, oh hell yeah. Anywho.
But yeah, I think I need to figure that out, definitely, especially if I'm going to do more gigs, which would be nice. I think that's certainly something that's started to happen more recently, thanks to Clown Army, the Pierrot, an EMOM.
Had you done
and then this Newcastle one? I've done a couple of EMOMs. I played an EMOM and then another EMOM, but that was, and then I did a gig, an independent gig with another guy. I kind of supported him at the Little Buildings in Newcastle. So that was my first proper gig. And then there was the Pierrot, and so that was amazing, because that was a different city. It was having to travel and get yourself there and figure it all out. And so that was good. That was an amazing time, a brilliant night.
Oh,
and then the Newcastle gig, because it was home and at Digital, which was, still can't get my head around that happened. It would have been great if like it had been full, but you know, it was just fantastic to have the sound system, the people that were there, and then like the experience of being there at home almost.
Yeah,
It was just was blowing my mind. So yeah, gravy, cheers for that. And Mark, that was cracking, really good.
It's got to be a bit of a high or a rush when you're playing in front of people. I mean, I know from my experience just doing like a live thing online, I get a bit of a rush and a high from that. But like,
I think that's why I started live streaming actually, because I wanted the sense of playing live in front of people, Clown Army, and I thought the best way to do that would be to live stream it basically, and give that sense of, you know, panic and it focuses the mind a little bit. But I think what's really hard making the leap from doing it in your bedroom, which I'm now quite comfortable with, and you know, because I've done 156 episodes of Jazzy Sprinkles, and so that's like 3 years worth of weekly, you know, hour and a half. So I know vaguely what I'm doing set wise, but then translating that into a club, because on the live stream I asked people for the next patch for the Microfreak. I'm not going to be able to do that in a club. And give us a shout out a number, everybody. Sorry, what? 3, 1.
What are we counting? I've had 7 beers.
Some way to submit numbers or something to give it a gimmickiness or something, and then, but yeah. So there's that, and then so as a result, you're just left to kind of make stuff up. And I always wanted to do it improvised to see if I could. It's always risky. Because you know, and I think you can run out of ideas. You suddenly go blank, and you suddenly start panicking about something. You're like, "Oh, I couldn't hear stuff. Like, I really couldn't hear the Microfreak properly because we had like wedges on either side, but it just seemed to be so fucking loud that I was like, this is mad." I had earplugs in. Then at times I was putting my headphones on so I could try and hear what I was actually playing, and then I was turning that up, and I was like, "Oh, this is just mad! Oh shit!" And then I just got to keep going, and then I was like, "Oh, now what do I do next?" And then because I hadn't prepared anything, you're like, right, oh, play the piano a bit, quick. Okay. Oh no, baseline, and it was just.
At least you got that piano there when all else fails, you could just bang out some keys, you know.
But I think I would go on, Mark.
Well, that's the biggest difference between playing in your room opposed to playing in a club. The frequencies are all over the place. Like in your house, you know exactly where the frequencies are, where they should sound. And then when you get to a rig and the rig's not tuned quite correctly, like there have been places where I can't hear the sampler, I can't hear the drum machine, you know. And it's through no fault of your own. But at that point, like you say, you're in panic mode, and it's like, shit, what the fuck do I do now? It's it's a different kettle of fish playing out. It really, really is.
Well, one thing I was on the last EMOM that I did, the monitors on stage, I couldn't hear from middle C downwards on my keyboard. So like I was playing, and I thought there was something wrong with my keyboard. I thought I'd gone into like a split mode. So I was like, it was in like arranger mode or something. And I was like, shit, I can't hear. Oh, shit. So I could hear it fine up there. So I started to concentrate more up there. But then when I watched the video back, it was like it was fine. It was literally just they'd like high passed the lot on stage to not mess up the bass, and I was like, oh, that would have been good to know, but you don't get a chance to sound check. You just plug in and go and hope for the best. And I was like, shit, is it broken? No, I just know if I can hear it.
That could throw you off a bit, I would imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the biggest, and also just the volume and the fact that air's moving, and like I think I tailor my sound for what I hear in my headphones. But when you're in a space with people in it or not people in it, and you've got massive speakers pumping wavelengths out, you've got to kind of think about what you're actually pumping out and really almost trim it back so that you've just got a few elements that will carry and that will be clear enough rather than interfering with each other. And yeah, I think it's just like, whoa, what? It's another thing, and it's something you need to get used to. I think as well, there's a big part of me that thinks I would rather focus on just doing techno sets and not worrying about the keyboard aspect, so that I can just literally focus in one area and have less of that focusing on the melodic side of stuff and just going more rhythmic. And I think that lends itself better to kind of a techno sort of
like in the live
area with a massive system. But yeah, you're right, Alan. I think part of the problem was just what I was listening and what I could hear versus what was out front, because your video I was like, oh no, that sounds fine. You can hear the microphone fine. It's coming across, great. But I was like, I couldn't hear the swarm, and the swarm normally is like over above everything. You've got to really bring it down as soon as you bring it in, because you're like, nope, that's far too high. Oh no, I'm going to kill somebody. I think I was shocked the most by the swarm on a big speakers, the noise that thing can make, because it's like it's gnarly and nasty, and it goes from 0 to 100 really fast. And it can be sort of, and it also just, and you're like,
reel it in.
And I was like, what's going on? In fact, the clip you played at the start of this whole stream, you can see me basically looking at the swarm, put my headphones on, going, is it doing anything? Like, oh, literally, I was just like, I can't. And it was just too subtle to hear. So you've got to be, whatever you end up putting out has to be kind of, specific and relevant for the place you're playing, I think.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Then you run the risk of, like, you're trying to hear it in the space, and then you listen back to the video, and it's like, holy shit, that's loud.
Yeah. And it's mint. I mean, I walked away when we were sound checking, and I got a chance to sound check, which has never happened before. So that was a real bonus. I didn't check with the keyboard. I just brought half of like the main table in, and then wandered round a bit and listened to it, which was nice to kind of get a sense of what it was going to sound like.
Right.
So that, yes, I can hear everything, but what I probably should have done was figure out what can I hear when I'm actually, but yeah.
Hey, it still came out amazing, in my opinion, man.
Yeah, well, what you heard, I guess, was like the clean line sound anyway, so that would have been good, and that's more like what I would play. You'd hear what I would play when I play at home anyway. But in the club, the output was just completely like, oh!
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Well, man,
too loud for the space almost even. I don't know. I don't know if we should have had it as loud as we did. Whatever. It was great. I had earplugs in. That was the other thing.
It's more of a them problem.
I had to run beyond above me earplugs to hear. So I dread to think how loud it actually pumped me headphones to get another club sound over my headphones so that I could actually hear. And I was like, no wonder this is that still doesn't have ringing ears. So the head earplugs must have worked. Where protection, everybody.
Protect your ears. They're the only ones you got. How are your ears? I know a lot of people say they got like tinnitus over the years, especially if they use a lot of headphones and stuff.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I've never played in clubs. I've never been a DJ. I've been dancing, but that was years ago. And I think probably, but I never wore earplugs then. But now, whenever I go to a concert, I've always got earplugs. In fact, I just carry them. They'll be in my pocket now. I literally have them on me at all times.
All times.
With vibes, they're called vibes.
What?
Be prepared.
But they lower they remove 20 dB without changing any frequency response. So
that's awesome.
It basically removes volume, and you can actually talk to people while you're watching a band. You can have a conversation with people, and you can hear what they're saying. It's mad. And there's like at festivals when the bass, you can feel it in your kidneys. And you can hear someone talking, you're like, what? And so, yeah, recommended, definitely.
You bollocked Tracer for not wearing any of that.
Yeah. Because I was like, why haven't you got any fucking earplugs in, man? Look at the state of the speakers. The bass bin was taller than we were.
Oh, man. I'm terrible, man. I'm probably going to be deaf by the time I'm 45 because I'm that guy that, like, just rolls right up to the bass bin. No ear protection. It's just like, right in front of it,
Yeah, we've all been there, but yeah, don't make a habit of it.
Yeah. Well, thank God I'm a hermit crab and I don't go out that often. So
yeah. But
so anybody
when I didn't have them, like when you don't have them, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this is not good. I don't like me no likey.
I'm in danger.
Yes, I feel melty in my brain.
Well, I would have to have a brain for that to happen. So. Anybody out there got any? I'm out of questions. I'm just shooting the shit right now. Anybody got anything out there for John? Anybody?
It's now we wait for the delay for it to get out there.
I'll just fill it with a little unsolicited nitpick.
I'll have an M&M in the meantime. My dinner's ready, but I'm like, I'm freestyling over here, so. Although I
Yeah,
haven't been called yet, so that's good. I haven't been bothered.
What do you like, on call with work or something, or?
No, just on call with the wife for dinner.
I
No,
always mute my phone because I'm always on call for work, and I'm like, no, leave me alone.
No, Cressy, I'm not going to TR1000 unless I sell all of my unused synths. But no, I don't think so. I like the TR8S. No, I haven't considered a Zoom L6 for recording my jams. I think I like the idea of them, but I'm not fussed about being like doorless in the sense of I do not use a computer. I'll use a computer to record the shit. My own used synths are the Microkorg, the Modal Sculpt, the Yamaha YC, which is the organ. I mean, I still use that, but it's just off to one side. The Korg NTS1, which is broken. Circuit, original. What else is lurking?
Jazz or techno, which
Chaos
one is
Pad 2. Jazzy
I feel like you can't.
Techno with Jazzy Sprinkles is better.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, in the true aspect, I don't. You can't compare the two. It's
It's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
And what I make is that section of a Venn diagram between the two.
Merged.
But I love techno. If I'm dancing, if I'm clubbing, the Orbit at Morley in the 90s, like that was the pinnacle for me. And I think that's where I always try to get back to in terms of whenever I think of techno. Jazz is just like I've been brought up with it. I love it. And, you know, it's classic females like Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think you're right.
Techno is the jazz of EDM.
I also hate the term EDM because of what it kind of represents. It's too big an umbrella term and obviously means something else. But yeah, I think techno definitely has. Well, techno. Think of the origins and the founders of techno and jazz. You know, it's common. There's a common theme, and we got to respect, you know, where it came from. And it's all about syncopation and that sort of, you know, playing with rhythm. Techno obviously was taking it in a future direction. Yes, I always feel upstaged by the rectangle on Sprinkles, Tracer.
What does that even mean?
Like, so on my screen, I've got a thing that removes the rectangle overlay. Light shade or something, or night shade or something. I don't know. It's a hack thing you can add to your Canon camera because I use that to live stream the top-down view. But if you turn it on and off, or off and on again, because it only stays on for 30 minutes and then it turns itself off. So you have to turn it off and on again. And if you do it really fast, it puts that thingy on and it breaks and it keeps it on. So the rectangle stays on screen. So we call it the rectangle, as in wrecked, like a wrecked ship, rather than the rectangle. And then some of the more, shall we say, committed viewers to my stream, it's definitely not a cult, but they seem to be somewhat affected by the rectangle. The rectangle chooses who shall stay and who shall go. It's a bit like, oh, the claw. So when the rectangle visits in the street, it's a special event.
The rectangle has spoken.
Exactly. And it's also focused, interestingly enough, on the two channels that I use for the kick drum on the TR8S. So a layer 2 kicks, I've got like a sample, and then I've got the FM simple kick as the other one, slightly quieter, and then in the middle I've got the snare drum. So it's like, but it's just focused on those three things. Yeah, and proper jazz. I'm no proper jazz player. I mean, I can make a good attempt at playing jazz, but actually, anybody that really knows how to play jazz would literally point and laugh at me and just go, "What's this idiot playing at?" In fact, there was one video up, but somebody who was like, "Excellent, you managed to make loads of mistakes and play it really shitly as well." And I was like, but yeah, they clearly aren't my target audience. I'm not a proper jazz pianist. I vaguely know some things and make it up, basically, and hope for the best. I'm more about the vibes than the technical aspect, man.
Yeah. All hail the rectangle.
Yeah.
I read that as rectanus at first for some reason.
Cress said, yes, I do. I have got a 5/4 one and I've got a 7/8 one as well. Let me see if I can find it.
Techno, take 5 salaries. Jazz trolls are the worst. Yeah.
7/8. So yeah, here's the 7/8 one. It was on for Wonky Jams Week. So that was the one you talked about earlier, wasn't it?
Who, me? The wonky acid?
Wonky. Oh yeah. No, well, this is Wonky Jams. I've shared it in the private chat. Let me see if I've got a 5/4 one. I don't think I have.
Alan, that's right. All about the vibes, baby.
Yeah, I'm like the kind of live techno equivalent of vibe coding, I guess. Just kind of don't worry about if it's any good or if it's right. Just, think about the vibes, man. Yeah, so this is in 7/8, so it's like it's not 4/4. I can't remember how I did this either, but whether it is actually TR8S is in 7/8. You can't really tell at the minute. So yeah, there you go. 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. It's not even and 1. It's 1.
It kind of fucks up my head a little.
So it's like you start the next beat, the next bar on the and of every beat. So it's like on the and of 4 of every beat is the start of the next one. 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and. So it's always kind of just. It is very jarring and a bit weird, I have to say. It's like...
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. That last beat, it just,
Yeah, like I said, it kind of does my head in a little bit. Like,
why always the TR8S? I guess it's because it's the drum machine that I bought after 20 years of not making music, and it was the thing that when it came out, I was like, I need a Roland drum machine. So yeah. That's why. And then it's basically been in the middle of my setup ever since. So it's kind of always been the driving force from the drums perspective, and all the other synths, a lot of them feed into its external ins and get the effects from it treated onto the synths. So yeah, basically it's a cool box.
why not is the correct answer.
I mean, I'd love the MC one. What is it? The MC 707, like the Daddy, but that seems to be a bit more production focused than performance focused, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. That's why I got rid of mine. Yeah, the scatter on it is absolutely amazing. It's the best thing that Roland have ever done. But yeah, the menu diving and stuff on it. Like, I come from an EMX background, and that's hands on. You know, I don't particularly like the MPC one because of its hands off factor, but the sonic capabilities of it are just insane.
Absolutely. I can't stand menu diving, man. My ADD is like way too intense. Like, what was I doing again? Oh yeah.
Sam keeps trying to convince me to get an Electron box, and specifically the analog rhythm. And I have to say, it's one area that I haven't ventured into. I quite like the look of the model cycles. I think that would be quit interesting because I like the FM aspect to it, and it seems small and jammy and what have you. But I think you can play samples, but it's also got good analog stuff. I think the rhythm, and obviously it's Sam's, but yeah.
Is he trying to sell you his or something?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Oh, I see.
That's
So
what
basically,
it's all about.
what Sam wants to do is offload a menu diving nightmare upon you. Is basically what he wants. So like,
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
He likes twiddling knobs. Let's send him down the menu.
No. Hey, but people that go the Electron route, I mean, it's almost like a cult. The Electron people, they I mean, they swear by it.
But I mean, they do sound bloody good. Like I have to say,
Yeah,
really good.
I just can't get my head around the workflow of them. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I've heard that, but again, I've not really used them, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Well, the only observation I have on when watching like Digito and Digitac type jams, when they're doing the filter knob, it seems like there's a shitload of fucking twisting going on. Can you not sort the scale out?
there is. You
Fucking
if you push the knob in and then turn it, it goes up in increments of but again, it's just so finicky, the whole thing, you know, and it just drove precise, yeah.
But yeah, that's the only observation I've ever had. I'm like, fucking hell, I get annoyed with that filter. If like, I want to wang it up and down, like, you know, 1 to 1, not this 1 to 50, whatever you're doing. Like
5,000.
It's like, it's got a gearbox, but clearly it has got a gearbox. So
shit.
Just shifted into 10.
Well, I guess my last question for you, man, is there anything we should be looking out for? Any big things on the horizon that you want to give a shout out
Big things coming. No,
yeah.
No, just more of the same shit. More. Oh, the only thing that I'm trying to get figured out at the minute is inspired by Clown Army Radio. I was thinking about trying to get a 24-hour live stream going on either mine or the Hardware Jams channels to try to just have basically playing through the stream through on a loop. And same with my, the Jazzy Sprinkles, just trying to get something going around, but I can't figure out how to do it technically. I was trying to set up a virtual machine, then it was like difficult to get it authenticated, and it was like, and I'm not very technical from that perspective. And then I was like, I'll set up a computer and do it. So then I found some, like my mother's old MacBook Air, but it's like from 2020 something or like 2019. It's just knackered, and it won't load even Chrome on it. It's like, no, okay.
Waiting.
Yeah, I launched a stream on YouTube Studio using the webcam feature, so it's all in app. And then I tried to play a jam through to see if I could share the screen, and then it just kind of went, oh no, and died. So back to that.
Me no compute.
Exactly. What do I think of the latest Spotify development? What specific development? I mean, the one that pisses me off the most was the one in 2024 when they stopped paying anybody above, unless they get a rolling 1,000 streams in a rolling 12 months. Because I released about 30 or 40 tracks before that, and all of those tiny little bits added up to, even the tiny streams, all of that. I bought the sculpt out of Spotify streams because they all added up to like, I don't know, $200 or something. And I was like, right, I'm buying a synth with that.
Nice.
But and now it's dramatically dropped. But I think, again, it is what it is. I'm not fussed about Spotify. I'm not desperate to try to kind of game it or get it to go. And I also get botted every now and again. So there's always, you'll get a track added to a dodgy playlist by somebody that you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
You didn't want. You get 1,000 streams, and then like the risk of having your music taken down or whatever, like nobody wants it. So it's a bit of a mess at the minute. But I'm not going to like remove my stuff from Spotify. I mean, I think clearly the CEO's a bit of a knob and is investing in AI death and all that sort of stuff. So, and I don't like what they're doing with the potential to. I mean, why would you want to remix people's songs? Like, okay, fine, but I think this whole
like you would have to have permission of some sort there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they've got, but
you sign away that permission the instant you join. And again, the CEO is an absolute
in that fine print.
Yeah. It's the same with WeTransfer. They're going to train all their AI on everything that gets sent through WeTransfer. I'm like, why? What? So I send the most obscure stuff I can possibly find through WeTransfer these days.
Oh God, what kind of porn are you sending? I don't even want to know.
Yeah. But I like the idea. There's a company now that's developed a plugin that poisons your music for AI. So if it tries to be scraped by AI, what it ends up with is complete shite and doesn't sound like your music at all. So I quite like that idea. But yeah, I'm not going to get into an AI debate because I think for me, all I'll say is I think AI should be used for really complex, hard human problems that we haven't solved, like cancer and or engineering stuff where or iterative machine learning problem solving type stuff for science and all that sort of stuff. I can't see the point in making shitty videos about hippos shagging the queen or whatever they are. Like a hippo on a trampoline is not going to change everybody's life. And I think there needs to be a way to show that it is AI, because some of it you want halfway through and then all of a sudden it does something you're like, it's not even fucking real.
I hate it.
Nobody wants it, and it's like it's just bollocks. So I think it should be used on solving problems that are going to benefit humanity rather than like making it easy for people to make memes and music.
Right.
The struggle of making music is what we love, I think.
Yes, we like the abuse and the punishment of it.
Exactly. If I can just tell somebody what I think I want my music to sound a beat like,
what's the fucking
point? Not my music. It's like,
what's the fucking point?
I'm a prompt engineer rather than a musician.
Yeah, and I hate
live on stage.
I hate like you were saying, you can't tell where's the line in the sand of where this is AI or not. It's like you almost don't know what's real anymore. It's crazy.
And I think there's going to be a lot of evolution. There's probably going to be a bubble that's going to burst in some areas, and some areas going to take off, and then we'll all have to get used to it. So I think at the minute it's so in its infancy, but the real fear is about it should be focused on the risk of the singularity and AI becoming too powerful and deciding that we aren't worth keeping a hold of anymore and all of that sort of stuff. I think that's the fun time that I worry about. But it's because it's just going to keep getting more and more powerful and more exponentially clever. But in the meantime, we're just dumb humans making air vibrate through oscillators and into our ears. That's all.
I make funny noise. Is that the wife yelling at you, saying, "Get off the goddamn computer, let's eat"?
Oh, did that come through? I think it must have been the dogs. It's like, what the hell's going on out here?
Well, man, it's been amazing talking to you. I'm really glad that we were able to finally link up our times and stuff somewhat.
No, it's been really good, and thank you for asking. Thanks for folks for suggesting me to ramble on. And
it wasn't me. It was the people in the URL group.
Yeah, they chose you, John. They wanted to see you, which is great.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it, and thank you. And it's been really nice to be in this kind of situation, being asked questions about stuff that just basically I enjoy doing. I mean, I think this is all just fun. This is what everybody sees of me in terms of the music side of things is just where I enjoy myself and my artistic release, if you like.
So, release. We all know what you mean. No, like I said earlier in the stream, I got probably I don't know. Mark got it easier on this particular projects, but I just like shoot the shit with people, and like they talk about themselves. All they got to do is just be like, "Hey, tell me about this," and then
corral it a bit.
They just sit back and listen.
So Teresa was my best man. So I think the fact that he says he learned a lot, very interesting, is quite amusing. So he knows me quite well. But thanks, Si.
Well, all right, man. I love you. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you so much. Cheers, Mark. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody.
Not a problem.
And have a brilliant end of the week and good news. And watch Hardware Jams tomorrow night, of course.
Yes.
The stream through.
What time again?
8 p.m. UK. Don't forget the clocks have changed. So in the US, it'll be an hour earlier, I guess. And we're focusing on melody this week. I'd forgotten what we were focusing on, but it is the melody challenge this week. So you've got a melody in your head.
Melody, what's that then?
Exactly. It's going to be very interesting.
Okay, once again, thank you so much, Eric, for doing the interview. Once again, thank you so much, John, for being the interviewee. 2.5 hours you guys did. 2.5 hours.
Lord have mercy. We probably could have done another 2 hours.
Literally,
I can
literally,
ramble
right?
like the best of us.
So yeah, thank you all for joining us this evening. That was another great interview. Eric, when's the next poll going up for the next one?
Tomorrow.
Excellent.
Maybe
Fantastic.
today. I might actually wing it out today after the this is done.
Yeah, cool. That'd be awesome. Let me know when it goes up, and I will populate it as much as possible. Like I say, thank everybody in the comment section today, and everybody that joined us. Great interview. Lovely little crossover with the Hardware Jams as well. Don't forget to check out Hardware Jams. They are an amazing community on Facebook. They also have a YouTube page as well at the moment. So yeah, go and check them out. Like John says, the stream through goes live tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and if you can make it, please do. Right, we are done, I think.
Whee!
Whee!
Take care, folks. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Eric. I'm going to leave you with a bit of the Jazzy Sprinkles. And yeah, I will see you Tuesday night for the URL. Have fun, everybody. See you later.